Good evening, everyone. My name is Juliet, also known as Crypto Queen. Helping capacity building to help youth or anyone who have interest in trading crypto on basic knowledge that will help you to make profits or trade independently without incurring losses. So for those who have been with us for the past few weeks, can testify that it has been a lot of success. It has been a lot of trading success in the academy group. And today I want to believe that everyone who made it to this webinar will go home with great value, and like you won't leave this webinar without grabbing a value. So I would want to know how many new persons we have. We have a lot of us from the academy group that have been part of our webinar for some weeks now. So if you are new to this webinar, if this is your first time of being part of us, I would like you to indicate in the chat box, this is my first time, so that it can help me to know the direction to go, or how fast or slow I can move in the call. So let me know in the chat box. I am new. This is my first time of being part of the webinar. So my first time. Okay. So we welcome everyone who's today is their first time of being in this academy. So some of the things that we will be pointing out might be strange to us that are new. So I would encourage us to visit the YouTube to get some value and knowledge, because we might not be really going into deep for newbies guide. We've treated newbies guide for some of our webinars. So we would encourage you to visit Crypto Queen Academy YouTube channel, where you can get some value and to help you also in some of the areas that we may not be touching today. So today we said we will be having an overview of the newbie guide, and we will talk about our basic. The major thing I want to emphasize in this webinar today is candlestick. So how anatomy of candlestick and how we can play around it, how it can help us to make a decision in entering and exiting the market. So if you are new to this webinar today, I want to welcome you once again, and you've made the right choice to identify with Crypto Queen Academy. So in Crypto Queen Academy, we make, will I say, if not, we make like 80% trading success, because we don't chase the markets. We basically trade by limit order. And if we are going to chase the market or trade according to the trend, we we buy or we place our order using dollar cost averaging, so that if anything goes wrong with our trade, we will be able to come out of the market successfully. So in summary, we are here, cryptocurrency is simply nothing but a digital or visual currencies. Its transaction is run in blockchain. When you say blockchain, it simply means a decentralized system. It is not controlled by any federal government or state government bodies. It's just decentralized. It's not managed. It's not manipulated. So when you say decentralized, something is standalone. You cannot manipulate it. Every transactions that we run in cryptocurrency, we run in blockchain, is done through exchange. So the first thing you're going to do when you maybe put an interest, or when you identify us, like when you indicate an interest to trade cryptocurrency, is going to the first thing you're going to do is to find an exchange where you want to trade or hold your assets. So basically we use Binance. The reason major people use Binance, majority of people use Binance is because Binance is known to be the world's largest exchange. But it doesn't mean that Binance is the most safest exchange. So we could see a lot of manipulation in Binance that we can't see in other exchanges. But Binance is assumed to be the world's largest exchange. So the first thing you want to do as a newbie is to identify yourself, to pick an exchange that you want to use in trading or exchanging the currencies. So before I proceed, I have one of our leaders who will be also taking us on continent time zone, and how it affects the psychology of the market. So please, I don't know your Zoom name. I would appreciate you send me a direct message so that I would be able to identify you. If you are one of our member in the academy who volunteer to take us on time zone and its continental time zone and how they can affect the market psychology, please let me know. Send me a direct message so that I can recognize you. So now moving on. So when you identify the exchange you want to use, so the first thing, the next thing you want to do is fund your wallet with stable coin. So stable coin are what we use to transact with tokens. So we have token, we have coins. So when you say tokens are built on existing blockchain, while coins are built on their own blockchain. Coins have the tokens, the coins or the asset that are known as through peer-to-peer, because in trading, what we do is you use your stable coin to buy low and sell high for those trading spots. So just summarizing some of these things, we've detailed them in our previous class, because I don't want to drag us so much back. Like I said, I wouldn't want this webinar to last long like previous webinar. So in trading, you can either take spot or futures. So in trading these assets, in sports, you either you buy low and sell high. In futures, you buy whether bearish or bullish, you are making profits. You can short the market from the resistance level, and you can long the market from the support level. So these are the ways we make money in cryptocurrency. You can also buy assets when they are very low in value and hold them in your wallet, in spot wallet, and watch them appreciate. So either you identify yourself once you indicate an interest in crypto, you can either identify yourself as either I'm a holder or I'm a day trader or I'm a swing trader. So whichever one you identify yourself, you walk around that. If you are going to be trading on daily basis, you know that when you want to check or view your or do your analysis, you're going to base your analysis on 1 day view. Then if you are going to do swing, you're going to base analysis on 1 day, beyond 3 days. If you're going to do scalping, you're a scalper, you're always playing around the different time zones. So you're going to also tell yourself, I'm going to be a scalper. So these are the things that you need to ask yourself, which of this area am I willing to go into? So you need to have a direction of what exactly do you want. And then the next thing is to identify a mentor. Everyone who trade crypto, who have passion for crypto, have a mentor. Even the expert, they also have a mentor. You need to have someone that you can always interact with, ask questions, because sometimes you need an advice. You need someone to walk you through over some mistakes. So at that point, you can't do it alone. So you need a mentor. You need someone to stand by you and walk you through that route of trading. So now moving on. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share my screen. So please, if you can see my screen, I can see your screen in the chat box. So please, I would like us to pay attention, whether you are new or you are not new. This part is very, very important. So after looking at this picture, we're going to go to a live chart to also understand it better. So now this is candlestick. What is candlestick? So candlestick is a type of price chart using technical analysis to display the high, low, open, closing price of an asset for a specific period of time. So traders use candlestick to determine the possible price movement based on past pattern. So you can't trade with that candlestick. So these are basically this is basically what we base our analysis on. So most times people get into trouble because they don't understand this candlestick and its movements. Now we can see the two candles here. These candles, we can simply say they are periods, they are time. Now we have red, the one in red candle we can see here. So the red candle, this red candle now is simply a type of, we could say, is a bearish candlestick. And the green candle is a bullish candlestick. So in this candle, we have 4 price points, 4 different price points, which we could see as we have open. So we have open here. We have the close. We have high price. We could also say this is a wick, upper shadow wick. So this is a wick. I will explain in a live trade. We have low price. Then it's 4. We have high price. We have close price. We have open price. Then for bullish, for bearish, the same thing. We have high price. We have open price. We have body of the candle. So we have close price. We have low price. Now let me explain this thing. When an asset is moving, let's take when an asset is moving in a bearish trend, the candle that opened must have started from here. At this point, we have the wick. We could say the price was rejected. At this point, we have a support. We couldn't see more sellers. There was no more selling force. That is why when it tried to push below this support where the price closed, it was rejected and bounces up. That was why we could see more bullish trend in this candle. Now, when it gets to this particular point where we have resistance, we couldn't see more sorry, at this point, we couldn't see more selling force. We couldn't see more buying force here. It would try to see more buying force, but it was rejected. It couldn't move further. Here, that is why at this price, it was rejected. Now, for this bearish candle, possibly we will see in a live chart, possibly the bearish candle was opened. At this point, the bearish candle opened in this support, in this resistance level, because we saw more selling force in the markets. So in trading, there must be buyers and sellers. So we must see those who are willing to exchange Without the buyers and sellers, there won't be complete transaction. So at this point, we'll see those who have bought at a lower, at a support level, taking profits or selling. We couldn't see more buyers, so we saw more sellers. Then we have the bearish candle opened here, and we saw a pullback. At this point, we could consider it to be a support. So this is what we call rejection weak. So this is not where the price closed. Candle price closed where the body of the candle stopped forming. Candle price open where the body of the candle starts forming. Now let me take us to the charts and also explain how this can help us in making trade decisions. Now this is it. This is an example of what I'm saying. So here we have each of these candles. Each of these candles, let's say these candles, we could say they are periods. Each of these candles are represented with a particular time frame, depending on the time frame you are viewing. So first thing you want to look at when you open your chart is time frame. What time frame do I want to analyze this chart with? So basically, to make a successful trader, don't mean scalpers. The best advice or recommended time frame to view are usually higher time frame. First, you're going to start by considering a particular lower time frame, 15 minutes view. The reason is being that whatever 15 minutes view is a little bit more accurate than other time frame, other lower time frame. So whatever that is going to happen in 15 minutes view, in 4 hours views will start happening in 15 minutes view. So you're going to consider the time frame, like I said, 15 minutes view, 4 hours view, and 1 day. These are basically the time frame I use to trade on daily basis. Now, if you are a scalper and you want to adjust this time frame from this that is displaying here, because I have this displayed there because these are basically the time frame I trade with. So you can come here more and tap on it, tap on customize view, then select the time frame you want to display in the market page. So once you select, it's not more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 portrait. If you are on landscape, it could contain more. So now the first thing you're gonna do is to ask yourself, now I want to view this trade. This chart pattern, this trade, this asset has been moving, and I want to enter this trade. First thing you want to consider is if you make this trade moving in, maybe for example, this candle was forming here, and you're not sure of what is going to happen in the next candle opening. So what you're going to ask yourself, what is the time that the next candle is going to open? Now, this brings us back to how is this time frame calculated? Please pay attention. The first day, the daily candle opens by 12:59, let's say by 1 a.m. every day. That's when the daily candle opens. And once the daily candle opens, every other candle, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, 3 days, 1 week, 1 month. No, sorry. Apart from 3 days, every other view below 1 day opens. Now, what's going to happen? Once it opens, 15 minutes starts counting. So you're going to ask yourself, after 1 p.m., what is the next 15 minutes? It's 1:15. What is the next 15 minutes? 1:30. You're going to be adding 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. For each 15 minutes, you keep adding 15 minutes. Let's look at the charts of these assets running. Now look at this time. The time now is 19:24. From all indication, the next candle, the next 15 minutes candle now is going to open by 7:30. Now look at this candle that is not clear. The reaction of this candle is not clear. So what you're going to do is you're going to say at this point, I'm not sure of what is happening around this candle. So maybe if I wait for the next candle to open, it's going to give me a direction or it's going to help me make decisions. Now this 15 minutes is represented. Each of these candles represent 15 minutes. This green little candle that is forming is opened around 7:15. This is a 5 live trade. At this point, in this candle that we can see, let me look at the green candle. This candle opened here, closed here, opened again. Then this is where this candle closed. This is where we could see a support. And if you watch in this support, after the rejection, where we couldn't see further buying force here, we could see a ranging obvious rejection in the next candle. So when you say a rejection or a support, support is a point where an asset gets to and stop falling. Why a resistance is a level where an asset gets to and stop moving. So we could see that the other candle that is following this candle that has this long wick here, they were all stopping here. There was a support. We could see the candle always coming here and moving up from here. It always gets to this place, until it breaks that support. The moment we could see it break that support, it start coming. And we could also see further support. We've seen another support level here. So, and now there's also another support level here. So the moment it breaks this support, it's also going to wage another support level. So at this moment, so what is going to help us in making decision around this trade is, I will wait because we'll have 3 minutes to go, 3 minutes to 15 minutes. If you are viewing by 15 minutes, 3 minutes for another candle to open. This candle has been static, it has not been moving. So maybe in the next 15 minutes, I could know what the reaction of the next candle opening will be. So let's say you were in the markets when this candle closed here, when this candle opened here, and you saw this full body candle forming, you might also take advantage of this trade. So probably you met this candle and the price at that moment is, the time at that moment is 7:30. So 7:29. So what you're going to do is, since it's 7:29, let me just be patient because it's possible that the next candle that's going to print will print bearish. So to confirm the movement of that trend, so what you're going to do is to wait for that candle the new candle to print. So once the new candle prints, it's going to help you to make a decision. Just like we'll see here, this bearish candle finished, the first bearish candle ended up printing the next one, bearish candle. So we saw a little bullish candle here, but very little because it was ranging here. Now we've seen a bearish candle again. But from indication, those who joined us in our MACD class, this MACD is showing a bearish sign. So from all indication, we could see further pullback because we have the signal line crossing over at this moment. So now the signal line is crossing over. The moment the signal line crosses over is indicating a bearish signal. So at this point, from the look of things, the next candle that may open might open bearish candle. We could also see it further as we move on. So what am I saying? So if you are going to make a decision around your trade, no matter how much the signal that the candle open, let's say 4 hours. If I'm trading with 4 hours candle, let's see what 4 hours is saying. So you see this 4 hours, it's showing a retracement. But now this retracement will be confirmed in the next 4 hours candle opening, which will be around 9. So by 9 o'clock, go back to RSI and check what candle that opened. For example, if just in case you are trading with 4 hours, at this point, it would be wrong for you to make a decision around this trade because there's a retracement and the next 4 hours candle that will open, you're not sure of what will happen. But from this, we could see that the past 4 hours has been ranging within a certain level. We could see it here. It has been ranging within a certain resistance level. It has not crossed this place. It keep touching here and trying to move further, and it keep rejecting the bullish movement. It keep rejecting. So if you watch closely, you see that this candle has been ranging, and this last candle tried to push further, but it still came back to that to the same point where we saw where other candle closed. So the next thing you're also going to do to be on the safe side is to also wait for this 4 hours candle to open. Now, like I said, whatever that is going to happen in 4 hours candle will start happening in the lower time frame. Now, 15 minutes candle has opened. Let's see what candle that opened with. You see, it's also not clear at this moment. Maybe in the next 5 minutes or in the next 6 minutes, or we could see exactly, we could see clear what is happening. It's already supported. The lower period of the moving average is serving as a support here. So at this point, it is not even clear to trade these assets now until you are sure of the movement, because it has been ranging within a particular zone. So 4 hours could also help you. By the time 4 hours candle opens, it can also help you to make a decision. So for me, I'm going to also keep an eye to know when it will break this resistance. We could see a resistance here because it has been ranging within that certain zone. So if I'm going to trade these assets, I will try to be in the market to know what the movement is going to be, because this trade, as long as I'm concerned, is exhausted. It's actually ready to go down, or we could say it's a retracement, but further movements will not be confirmed in this shorter time frame. Let's see what happened by 9 p.m. when the next candle will open. But as at this moment, it's just ranging. But I think from what I can see here, we could see further bearish candle opening here. Maybe before 15 minutes candle will close, we could see the direction of this candle. So if you are going to always consider this candle opening and closing, trust me, it's going to help you, because sometimes you could come and see a chart moving. Let me see if I can see any trade that is moving. Most of the trade are exhausted. This is just so ranging. So I'm not able to see a coin that is moving. This is the topest gainer at the moment. So like I said, if you also if you want to trade this assets and you meet this trade where this rejection occurred, so and you're not sure of what is going to happen to the next candle, because certainly during retracement it will have to rest here for a couple of time until the next candle opens. As a retracement at this moment that the price was rejected, it's going to be like this until the next candle opens. So when the next candle opens, you can make a decision around it. So, but from the look of things too, this trade is typical bearish. In fact, if this coin is in futures, I'm going to short it. It's exhausted. So the signal line is declining already. So, and as long as it's up, it's going to come down. So this MACD line instead is exhausted. The signal line is crossing over. And once the signal line start crossing over, is a sign of bearish bearish trend for that asset. So if you check this trade in the next 30 minutes, you will see that the price would have gone very lower, because every sign in this chart is indicating that it's bearish. If you can also see the candle that is printing a bearish candle. Of course, we're expecting it to get to this level certainly. So I don't know at this point whether there is any question around this candle pattern or candle anatomy of the candle stick and opening and closing of the method of it. So I would like to take a question if we have a question around it. Please, you will have question. If we don't have question, then I'll move over to DCA. Okay, go ahead. Blessed, please ask your question, unmute yourself and ask your question so that we can move down to the next.
Hello, good evening, ma.
Good evening.
Thank you once again for this opportunity today. Thank you. Please, my question goes like this. That candlestick, your network breached when you were explaining it. How do we count it? Like the 15 minutes, 1 hour? Because there are several candles there. I don't know when to. Is it the one that is opening currently is 15 minutes? If I click on 1 hour, the one that is opening there is 1 hour. What of other ones, especially the one with longer wick? Can we call it 1 hour? Or please, I want you to throw more light there. When you were explaining it, your network got cut off, please. I didn't get it quite well, please.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. I said, regardless of whatever candle you are viewing, every candle begins and closes by 12:59 a.m. Look at these candles. 1 minute candle begins for the day by 12:59 by 1 p.m.
Okay.
3 minutes candle begins and closes by 1 p.m. 5 minutes candle begins and closes by 1 p.m. 30 minutes candle begins and closes by 1 p.m. 2 hours candle begins and closes by 1 p.m. 6 hours candle, all of the candles begins and close by 1 p.m. And if you tap on any view, if you tap on
1 hour view. Everything you see here is calculated 1 candle, 1 hour, 1 candle, 1 hour. Are you clear now?
Yes, ma.
1
Okay.
candle, 1 hour, 1 candle. If you tap on 4 hours view, everything you see here, 1 candle, 4 hours, 1 candle, 4 hours. If you tap on 1 day view, everything you see here, 1 day, 1 candle, 1 day, 1 candle, 1 day. Are you clear now?
Yes,
So,
very
and
much
all
clear.
this candle begins at 1 a.m. So if you are trading, if you want to count 4 hours, reference back to 1 a.m.
Okay.
Then you start counting by the next 4 hours will open by 4 a.m., 5 a.m. The next 4 hours will count it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was what I said by 9 a.m. This candle will remain this way until it's 9 a.m. That is why it is not even the best time to, let's say you want to long this coin, but from the lower time frame, let's see. Lower time frame is already showing you that is retracing, is bearish. So now, if you want to be sure of this, whether this bearish candle will continue or not, you can wait till 9 p.m. Then by 1 hour here, look at 1 hour candle now will open around 8 o'clock. So once it's 8 o'clock, there's no much movement in this candle. It looks like is supported. So to also guide you, you might decide not to short this trade from here. But MACD moving average convergence divergence is already showing you that it's going bearish. I mean, there's a clear bearish sign to this candle, to this asset. From the indicator momentum is already showing bearish. So, but 15 minutes, you can also monitor in the next 15 minutes view. That's why it's not good to focus on 15 minutes view. And now let's see something that happened to this candle, to this chart. To tell you that this asset is not moving much further now. Support is now resistance. So at this point now, we could see that this asset is now resisted at this point. And this MACD is showing a very pure bearish sign, even in the lower time frame. Look at this, it's coming down the histogram. So once it's coming down the histogram, I'm just showing you that all the views are confirming that this asset is exhausted and ready to pull back, except one day because it's still far and going to close at 12:59. So once it closes, another candle open, but the lower views are not showing a bearish sign. So 4 hours is showing a bearish sign, but you can confirm it in the next candle that's going to open. This other candle already show bearish. So maybe the next candle will continue going down, just like we could see in 1 hour. 1 hour, I'm very sure that 1 hour candle might still go down and go further low, because the MACD is showing us a bearish sign. Maybe 15 minutes is also showing us, is also showing us a bear. This is clear, but this is pure bearish. So this is how we can calculate or calculate the candles according to the time frame. So I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, ma. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. Brines, please, it's important that we also stay, but I really would like us to know how I don't stay too long in the market because of this year, how I've been managing it. Brines, ask your question.
Ma.
Good evening.
Okay. Ma, there is a place you said a resistance becomes a support and a support becomes a resistance. I don't really understand that, ma.
Okay, when I say resistance become a support, let me get a clear chart that has, let me see BTC. There was a time I posted in the group today that BTC early morning before I went to church, I said that BTC support is now resistance, that BTC is going to go down. So it was because of that, and it wasn't after much our BTC gave a very sharp drop. So when a resistance becomes when a support becomes a resistance, is an indication that everything about that asset is trading on a bearish zone. Let me see if I can see it. So look at, I'm going to show, or let me need it clearer. Okay. You see this candle, the last candle. Can you see the last candle? The last three candle. Sorry, let me see the last three candle. Brilliance.
Yes, ma, I can see.
Committed.
Yes, ma, I
So
can
you
see.
see this last, let me say the last two candles. There's a tiny candle behind this green candle. And there's also another one that has this rejection here. So when you look at this, where they stop, you will notice that at some point, other candle that is up, we are sitting on it. Do you understand? Can you stop unmuting muting yourself?
Yes, ma, I can see it, ma.
Can you stop muting yourself? Look at
Okay.
this line, these ribbons, because the exponential moving average, they can serve as support and resistance. Look at where these lines look at where they are now. Can you see it?
Yes, ma.
So these candles that are under it, they are not crossing above it. That is, they are resisted on top of it. And if you check this trend, at some point, look at these candles we are serving as support here. Look at these candles, they were sitting on top of it. These are support levels. Can you see?
Yes, ma.
And now these support levels are now resistance for this trade.
Okay.
Are you clear now?
Yeah, I'm clear, ma. I'm clear.
So this is where, when a support becomes a resistance, it's a difficult time, because that resistance will have to break for it to confirm an uptrend movement. Now let's look at 1-day view. We could see a crossover. So look at the same thing is happening here. This lower period is now serving as a resistance. There is now resistance. So if we check back, at some point, it was a support. It was a support, but this is not really clear. You could see a moment where a particular point where that candle stop dropping, where previous pattern, like we said, that candlesticks are used by traders to determine possible price movement based on past pattern. So in the past pattern, we could see that whenever you see a past pattern where a candle was supported and another candle was resisted, when I mean resisted, could not move further at that point where it was supported, could not move further, it starts at that moment printing further resistance candle. That's where you say this candle is support, and the previous support is now a resistance. Let me see if I can get another chart, another trade to explain. So this, let me check. So this is also a support, and this is a resistance here. There's a resistance here to this candle, this two candle in the middle. There's a resistance. They were resisted, these two candles were resisted at the same level. And we could see that after it crossed it, this exponential moving average now become a support. The moment it crossed the exponential moving average, it become a support. The moment that candle crossed it, it become a support. So these are where we could say that the previous support is now a resistance. So at that moment, at the moment, BTC is actually trading on a bearish. It's very bearish. It's actually very bearish. So everything about BTC since previous days we've seen is that it's bearish. So even if you check one day, we could see that we have a major a movement. Either stop it from moving forward, which is resistance, or stop it from moving downward, which is support. So we could see that at this point, this lower period, each time the candle move and touch the ribbon, it drops. Each time the candle move and touch the ribbon, it moves. This is to show you that this exponential moving average lower period is serving as a very strong support level for this chart. Very, very strong support level. Even these places where we see that they wanted to move forward, it was rejected. All the time that the candle closed, we saw that the moment it touches the ribbon, it goes down. And now it's now this is a very strong resistance. In one day, just look at what we've been suffering. It has been crawling. So until it moves above this place, we may not see a very good movement. For the past 3 days, 1, 2, 3, it has been ranging within this zone. So this is a very strong support resistance level for BTC now. So that is, I don't know if I've been able to answer your question.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Thank you very much, ma.
Okay, Robinson, please, can you ask your question? Mr. Robinson, can you ask your question?
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. Based on what you just explained now, and they were on the.
I can hear you. Hello.
Oh.
So we can move on. I can hear him. Okay, Chuku Sunday. Okay, Chuku Sunday, please, can you ask your question? Let's move on to the next.
Hello, can you hear me? Good evening.
I can hear you. Good evening.
So my question goes like this: assuming actually you want to short a particular coin, and you actually set it at the support level, and the order did not actually pick for maybe like 6 hours. So does it mean you have to cancel the order, or you still leave it like that?
So for example, like we saw, sometimes you set an order and it didn't pick. Like I told us that each time there's a sharp drop in the market, it bounces back to make a little recovery. So earlier today, this is my BTC. Let me show us. Okay. Let me show us my BTC. So look at this BTC. I'm holding BTC. Look at my loss, it's just minus 1%. So a slight movement in the market that will come out of this. Meanwhile, open order, these are my open order. I've already set BTC to buy for me. I set BTC to buy for me at a very lower level. These are where I set my BTC to buy, regardless of this price I set. I saw that BTC dropped today. It didn't get to any of those my price because I saw that BTC dropped. So what did I do? Immediately I saw that BTC dropped. It made a sharp drop. Look at this drop. I met it where it was here or something, just here. I know that whenever there's this drop, I checked, this candle was a very continuous. How many candle? 1, 2, 3. This is a sharp drop. There's likely possibility that it's not going to move further until it make a slight recovery. What did I do? I know that I have my order set, so I just simply buy additional $100 to my trade. That is why I have my losses reduced. So sometimes I still left my previous open orders. They are still here just in case BTC drops further below 18.5, buy for me, 18.1, buy for me, 17.5, buy for me. So this is just how I manage my trade. Okay, Shukwu, I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes,
So
yes,
I
you
still
do.
have my limit order. My limit order are there, but I was able to take advantage of the sharp drop that I didn't get to any of my order because I know that at that moment it dropped. It's still going to help my average my entering price closer to market price. So I'm very sure that this my trade BTC will enter profit this night because it's slightest movement, I will enter profit. So I can decide to buy further link now to reduce my entry and still leave my open orders. I don't know if you are getting me, but also
Yes,
as you
I
are
do.
buying, you should also be considering your wallet balance. Look at all my trade. None of these trade have liquidation price. My link does not have liquidation price. My BTC does not have liquidation price. This is to show that this trade is very 100% safe. I'm not even panicking about this trade. All I know is that if the market draws further, by the time I still wake up, my assets might still be in profit because at the moment it buys lower, it's going to average everything. I don't know if I've answered your question. Now this
Yes, you
brings
do.
me to, I wouldn't take further questions until Sylvester will assist us on continent, but let me quickly do a summary. So the reason I don't hold much float, you hardly come to my trade and you see it last more than 24 hours without recovering. Now, what helps me to achieve this success is I simply use open limit order. You don't see me chase the markets, except that there's an indication that this trade is going to move further. Now, what do? When I started buying this link, the first thing I do, this is what has been helping me. What I do, my first buy is usually very small. My first buy are usually very small. I bought this link with $50 initially, and I set limit order. It was limit order that bought this extra $100. If you enter this link with me from the Academy group, you will know that your loss, anybody that's entered this link with me, his or her losses will be more than my own. It's because I didn't buy everything at the same time. I normally use the lower fund to buy my first buy. Then subsequent buy, like if you see my BTC, I have a BTC that I set to buy for me at $500. This is $400. By the time all my BTC will peak, I will have up to $1,000 in my trade, $1,000 in my trade. And by that time, I shouldn't stay in the market too long. I will come out. So what is going to help you to always come out of the market is if you have, if you have $1,000 in your wallet to trade, and because you're going to buy using DCA, you can do 30%. Then what you're going to do is you set your first buy 10%. You use 10%, $100 buy first. Set another one at another support level, 10%. The third one, set another support level, 10%. At that moment, if these three, because I used to be happy when all my order peak, I'm very happy because I know for them to peak, it means that there's a drop and I will recover fast. So let's look at the charts. So for example, the market is already down. I want to buy Ethereum at this price. I'm going to buy, for example, I'm going to buy at this moment. Then my next first buy, I will buy with a little fund just in case it start recovering. Because the MACD is showing is showing a recovering sign, but the chart is still looking bearish. Maybe by the time one day candle we open, we could see a little recovering. So I will buy here. When I buy, if I have $1,000, I'll buy $100 here. I will set another, look at where this price was rejected. Look at the support, this place. I might come here and set another buy. Let me do Ethereum view, which is USDT. So I'm going to buy here. It looks like this is sitting on a support. Let's check other view. So you see, it's the look of that candle looks like sitting on a support. And now see, in 15 minutes view is also sitting on a support. The candle that is forming now is already the previous resistance level is now serving as a support level. This candle is going to form above this previous one. Just take note of this. It's going to form above this previous one. So now what you're going to do, you see, it's going, like I said, it's just playing out. So now we have a hope over this Ethereum because the previous resistance is now support. It's also going to get here and resist. Once it breaks it, we'll still have another hope. So for example, you buy here now. You're using 15 minutes view. Next buy, you might want to place your buy where the price was rejected. You can come and buy a little above here, but don't buy with 15 minutes anyway. So maybe you might want to buy here. If you buy here, you're already buying at a good price because every market is down. So once you buy here, and if the price is going to drop further, we might likely, if it's dropping further now from here, we might likely see it in this support where at this price where it was rejected. So I'm not going to set my price at 1,253 because it might likely not get to this place. So what I'm going to do, I might likely set my price as 1,270, little bit above it. So you're going to set it here. Maybe I will use one day again to know where I'm going to set it. Once I set it 1,270, I will come and set another one here. Maybe 1,2. It might not get there, but it's also going to help you not to get into trouble. Or if the coin drops further, if it didn't drop further, you work with the one you have up there. So at this point, I would like to welcome Sylvester. to walk us through on how continents and their trading time affect the market, the psychology of trading, the continental trading time. So because we have different continents and when they enter the market. So Sylvester is going to walk us through. So in summary, always consider using dollar cost averaging to buy. When you say dollar cost averaging, in dollar cost averaging, you don't buy everything at the same time. You split your buy so that if the market drops further, just like you see me, I always have a limit order here. If you see my BTC is recovering. So if the market drops further, is at your own advantage. If the market didn't drop further, you have nothing to lose, but you are safe. So always ensure that you use limit order to buy. Don't chase the markets, because in trading futures, the little that can keep you safe, futures is not for children, it's not for inexperienced trader. But if you are going to trade futures as an inexperienced trader, you must have a mentor. So you will have to visit my YouTube channel to see a video on how you can trade futures and have no losses. What we trade in Crypto Queen Academy is 5x, 20% of our wallet balance. It keeps you safe, 20%. You can trade 30% if you are using dollar cost averaging. This keeps you safe even in a market crash until you recover. So if you are going to trade isolated, it's up to you. If you are trading isolated, you might need stop loss if you are trading isolated. But if you are trading cross and you manage your risk very well, you might not need stop loss. So at this moment, you see my BTC is already in profit. So this is because I use dollar cost average. I didn't buy everything. This is like 3 buy. It was just like 3 buy at a go that averaged my entry closer to market price. So by the time BTC make a little movement, I might make up to $100 or $50. So Sylvester, I'm glad to welcome you in this webinar to take us on the time frame of different continents and how they can affect the markets positively and negatively. Sylvester, please, can you raise your hand so that I widen? Okay.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I joined the lecture late. MTN network is very bad. Specifically these days, it's somehow very, very bad. I even have to leave my house to a very far place before I was able to get a little bit network. Though it's still fluctuating, but I will just manage it and see how I can help us. Lady Queen, thank you so much for the lecture you have given so far. And very much on one way or the other, those that we have opportunity to join this class, they would have learned something from the lecture you have given so far. Without wasting much time, my name is Akpakuna Sylvester. I'm from Delta State. I've been in crypto for the past 2 years plus now. I will just briefly talk about the different time zone that affect the market generally. Sorry, I didn't prepare to share any screen. I will just make it oral discussion, and since it's not that really complicated something. Hello? Hello?
I can get that and share. Just go ahead while you talk. Go ahead.
You called it the Asia countries or the the lovers of
Go
crypto.
ahead, I can hear you.
So the major 3 regions that are really into crypto trading basically are the Asia region, the Europe, and the North America region. And Now, the Asia countries, basically, if you don't want to call them the Asia countries, you call them the real lovers or the real traders of crypto, because they love trading a lot. And when you look at the countries under the Asia, there are so many of them, and the majority of these countries are crypto lovers and they trade a lot. Like Indians, China, these are some of the countries under the Asia regions, and they trade a lot. But basically, the Asia countries, the time zone of the Asia country is different from our time zone. The Asia countries, generally, they are 7 to 8 hours ahead of our time. Then the North America region, we are 5 hours ahead of them, or they are 5 hours behind us. Then Africa, taking it down to Nigeria, we fall under the Europe region. That is why we trade with the Europe countries with the same time frame. Now, on the Asia countries, what the Asians they do is this: the moment like as we are speaking, our Asians they are approaching very early in the morning. Very soon they will start trading. Sometimes the Asia countries, what they do is this: when they are awake and they want to trade, what they do, they check the analysis of the BTC chart and see how they can manipulate the trade as at that time. Sometimes what they do, from my experience, is this: they can pump the market. When they pump the market, they create a euphoria in such a way that people will be thinking that the market is booming, fine, sure. Then they might even pump the market to Europe. We wake up a little bit and they dump many a times. That is why sometimes when Asians are trading and the market is popping, that is one of my most time of taking money from the market. Because I know that Asians, they love dumping a lot after they have pumped it. That is one thing with them. Then when Europe now wake up, then with our time frame we fall within the Europe region. Then in the Europe region, the Africa as a country, most of the Africa countries, all Africa continent, most of the Africa continent countries, they fall under the Europe region, of which most of them, they love trading as well. If not for the way Nigeria government is handling us, if we should give Nigeria a better chance, we will discover that in the whole of Africa, I think Nigeria should be one of the largest crypto traders in Africa. But just that our government is not really helping us to have a very good go ahead for that room to be given to everybody in this country. But however, let's continue with that. So when Europe wake up, Europe they will look at the chart and see where the BTC distance has gone to. They see the level of dump in it. Then from my experience, when Europe wake up, if BTC has pumped by the Asia regions and they dump it, Europe, they don't love trading that time. They will just be manipulating the market with little consolidation or just chopping a choppy way to wait for the North American region to wake up. And since I know that American regions are really the most traded country, they are not even up to, but just that they have a way of making the market very, 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 very unique and very interesting to the world. Let me use that word, very interesting to the world in such a way that at a point the world now look onto them for decisions of the market. And that's why sometimes you must just imagine if the whole of America is releasing their CPI and PCE data, it tends to affect the market. But in reality, they are not really the biggest traders in the world. But just that they make it crypto more regularized in their region, and they make it more known to their region than other regions. Therefore, they now use that to kind of manipulating the market on the base that when the market is on, Europe love to trade with America because our different time zone is not that far. So Europe, sometimes they might pump the market, but Europe does not really pump market. I can tell you that Europe does not really pump market. What Europe do, they wait logically for North Americans to wake up, and when they wake up, like 5 hours ahead or behind us, when they have woke up, you see some level of pumping in the market. If at all BTC will pump that day. That is from America region. So what Europe do is sometimes when the market is pumping, they take the advantage to pump the market with America region, and they equally take their profit from the market. Now, in essence, when we now look at the general time frame of the major three continents or the three regions, sorry to use the word continent, the three regions that are really trading this crypto, you will discover that the Asia countries has an upper hand of pumping the market, but their problem is that they dump the market if they pump it. And I will equally tell you that most of the silent ways, the big investors, they are from the Asia regions, but they will not announce themselves, they will not make public announcement of themselves. I got to know this when I have about 5 to 6 India friends who really taught me some areas of trading perfectly. It was there I know all this secret that Asians are some of the biggest ways in the market, and they pump the market and they dump. So in essence, what do we have to do? We have to, if you are a trader, which everybody here are trader, but working with, if you want to trade with the Asian region, then you must set your time frame, your phone alarm, so that you can wake up with them in the midnight and see how the market goes at that time. But if you think you value your sleep, you don't want to disturb your sleep, what you do then is you have to wait for Europe, which is where we found out the Europe region, wait for us to wake up, see the strength of the market, then see how America will wake up and see how some pumping would go or some dumping will go. So this is just what I have to say about the different the major three regions that are trading this crypto of 18, irrespective of crypto, stock market, or any other asset market, as the case may be.
So thank you, Sylvester, for that wonderful presentation. So I'm going to add, in addition to what our friend and our member in Academy said. So this is the different time zone, like he said. Asian markets, like basically, like he said, when they wake up, they will just be playing around the market. That's where you see market consolidates. They will just be there. The market will be consolidating. So when you say consolidating, what do you mean is a ranging market? Let me show us. So there's a coin that consolidated for, let me link. There's this coin that consolidated for a very long time.
Yeah, bro, respect. I say with you now. How far? I get you, brother.
So I'm just looking for a typical example of a coin that consolidated for a long time. Okay, look at BTC. Look at this. This is a typical example of what we can say consolidation means. You see? It's quite annoying. So it has just been consolidating. So when the Asian market wake up, like you said, they don't start trading the market immediately. So they wait a little, and after a couple of time, that is why you see that between 12 and 1, there's either a sharp drop or a sharp pump or a pump in the market. So basically, the best time you make profit in the market is either is during the Asian period, trading period, because they are the ones that controls the market. Most of the tokens and coins that we trade are owned by the Asians. So how we can also, in addition, how we can also take advantage of this is when they wake up to trade, you can, like you said, you can decide to wake up to trade with them. Look at this time, by 11 p.m., market could consolidate a little. Then from 12-1, we could see either a pump or a dump. Then between that 2-3, we could see a retracement, a cool off. If the market pumps, either is retracing. If the market dump, either is recovering. So how we can help ourselves with this is, when you are in the market, know when to take profits, know when to enter the market. The European time, which is London and Africa, we share the same time. Basically, I do my buying. Most times I do my buying. That is why the indicators basically drop signals early time after the Europeans trade, after the Europeans must have taken a lot of profits in the markets. Then you see that the indicator dropped most of the signal, either long or short, early hour. So I basically enter my markets between that 6, because there's either a retracement from the pump, or either way, it's the opposite direction. Whatever the Asian continent traded, if they traded short, either we wake up and start shorting with them, but I know we don't have great impact in the market like the Asians and the Americans. So either we woke up continue shorting, or woke up longing from where they start. But at that moment, we should find out, what did the Asian market traded? Did they long or did they short? Because of course they're going to make impact. It's likely that this night they're going to wake up long in the market, or the market will, like I said, the market might consolidate a little. Just like we see, there's a little good movement. BTC pumped, although they've not even entered the market. The market is now trading within the European region. Let me check again. Okay, the market is trading within the European and American region. So now the Asian may enter the market and start longing. Now, once they start longing the market, BTC might likely touch 20 this evening. So maybe you're also gonna wait, or you want to. Real traders, they don't sleep, they do their trading midnight. That's when you see real traders trade, because the people that control the market comes in the markets in the midnight. So like you see this candle, when we see this pump now, you see what's happening to this candle. It pumped, the last 15 minutes pumped, the next candle. These are how they deceive people in the market. So the next candle that opened now, opened bearish. So maybe the next candle, now if you want to enter this market, you might want to wait for 8:30. Once it's 8:30, another candle open to know whether it will continue this movement. Let's see what happened. The next 1 hour here, like this candle is going to move like this until 1 hour time. There's a resistance here. So maybe in the next 1 hour, if it moves further to this place and gets to it, the next candle that will open next one, I might break it. So like I said, we have seen a bearish candle here. So you might want to wait to confirm this movement in the next candle opening. So now let me tell us basically times that we normally witness retracements in the market. So when we wake up in the market, we buy between 6, 7, around 9. We observe this thing I'm saying now. Between 6, 7, we see buyers. Between 8, 9, we see movements in the market. The movements can either be positive or negative. Then if it's a bullish movement, I normally take my profit. In fact, I was in the office that I set a trade one of the days I set my alarm at 12 p.m. So nearly before I even get to 12 p.m., my trade has got entered profit, but I trailed it. As I was trading the profit closed for me. But I noticed that at that moment, it was 12 o'clock. Before 12 o'clock, there was a very fast uptrend movement. And my alarm rang, I said this would have been a great profit for me. So I normally set my alarm between 12. Once it's 12, then I would start thinking of trailing my profit or leaving the market. So the market reacts basically between 9 in the morning, 11 and 12. These are the time we see reaction in the markets. 9 in the morning, between that 9 in the morning, 11 and 12. Then the market reacts when the American will enter in the afternoon by 2, 3. the market react to 3, then it will cool off a little between that 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Then it will start again by 9. Between this period, it will react a little and cool off. Then the Asian will enter the markets and it will react again. So if you monitor this movement, just take your time and find, like these times that I've mentioned, study the charts and study the movement in the market. Whenever you see a market moving, check the time, find out the continents in the market. They always have an impact in the market. The continents and their region always have a great impact in the market. So these are the different time zones. So you might need to take consideration to this. Asian enters markets 11 p.m., trade to 8 a.m. Then Europeans enters, which is where we fall in 7 a.m., trade to 4 p.m. So when I say enter, so if once a continent market opens, give that, once a coin start pumping, don't give it like 1 hour or 1 hour, 30 minutes or 2 hours. There's going to be a retracement. So these are simple things that could help us manage our trade and not be able to hold floating and know when to take profits. So I don't know. I don't know if I have further question, and I want to believe that we've been able to add a little value in this webinar. So we have some of our great videos in the academy. For every simple video that you need to walk you through on trading, both spot and futures, it's in the YouTube channel. So if you're a spot trader here, if you are new, you might want to concentrate on spot trading. So for you to trade futures, you need a certain level of discipline, because futures can give you a lot of money and also take a lot of money from you. So the only thing that can keep you in the market is discipline. You have to discipline yourself to manage your risks very well. When I say manage your risk, don't be greedy. Discipline yourself not to be fearful. You have to be fearless. And you must learn to take profits. You must learn to trail your profits. You must also learn to control your leverage, because the higher your leverage, the higher your profits. And the lower your leverage, the lower your profit, and the safer you are in the markets. So when I say I don't get liquidated when I'm on cross, I'm a cross trader. Anytime you see me get liquidated, I purposely enter that market unisolated, knowing that I'm willing to lose this. But when I'm in a real trading, when I want to trade, I don't gamble with my money. I trade cross. And when I'm in cross, I manage my risk because I'm exposing my entire wallet to that trade. So I'm going to manage my risk so that I can remain in the market if anything happens. So look at what happened to this trade now. There was a great consolidation. So whenever you see a coin consolidating like this, please don't buy that coin. You see, this is quite a very strange movement. At this point, this trade is very indecisive. So you cannot determine what happens to this until you'll be following the candles. If you see, you just keep following the candle, keep following it, keep following it. The last candle now that opened, this one now printed green, the next one. So that's why you keep following it, keep following it, keep following it. So this is quite a bullish trend for this BNB/BTC. So the next candle too that's going to, this one now opened again, although we've seen a strong resistance, we've seen a resistance here. It has not passed here. It has not, this place where it was rejected, now this place is forming a resistance. So maybe the next candle that's opening, the next 15 minutes candle, will either continue or come or still range within these certain levels. So I don't know if we have further questions. And like, I would like to get a review about this night's webinar. So if you are here and you feel like you've gained value, I would like to get in the chat box about your review about today's webinar and where you would like us to improve better on. So let me get a review in the chat box and I will take further questions. At this hand, previous hand, Robinson Edoja, can you ask your question?
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Please, I will need the video that you taught us on MACD.
Okay, it's in the channel.
How do I locate it? How do I get it?
I dropped the channel. If you go to the channel, you will see there's a video there. I dropped the channel link.
How will I know the name of that very
I tag it. I tag it. I think I tag it. Let me get the link.
Okay.
So any further question? So please, let's get a review. Let's get your review in the chat and where you want us to improve more. Marty. Okay. So I'm dropping. Do we have just 3 persons that, please let us know where you want us to improve more, and let's know if the class makes sense. So I just dropped a link to the video where you can go through the MACD and its indicator and how they can help you. So if we have the absence of no further question, I would please, I will want you to. Okay, support and resistance, but we didn't talk about support and resistance because I know that in one of our webinar or I will record a video on support and resistance. Okay. I will record, I think I have a video in the channel that talks about, I have a video in the channel that talks about support and resistance. Maybe in our next video, we could also look at it. In our next class, we'll have a member that will be taking us on Web3 tokens. You wouldn't want to miss it. Web3 tokens are the most trending tokens now. And most of the coins that we see that are performing very well, they are coins that is launched, they are all Web3 tokens. So in our next class, I would want to take us on how we can research on a coin. When you go to CoinGecko or Coin Market Cap, how you can know where these coins, where they are launched on, the blockchain where they are hosted on. So I would like to take us on that too, so that when you are trading on a coin, personally, I like to trade on majority of Ethereum coins. I like to trade on Ethereum coins, if not BTC, Web3 coins too. These are the trending coins. So we'll have Chamaka, one of our members in the academy, will be taking us on Web3 coin. I'm sure you wouldn't want to miss out from it. It's going to be amazing too to have Chamaka in our webinar next week to handle us on that. Thank you everyone who made it to this webinar. Like I said, what makes a successful trader is close mentorship. You need to identify yourself with someone that will be mentoring you. It's not all the time that you can pick a trade by yourself. You can also be assisted to pick a trade. And what makes you a good trader is once you see a trade, that a call that someone dropped, the first thing you're going to do is go to a chart, ask yourself, is this chart worth tradable? Is this coin worth tradable? So most times indicator drop signals, and when you check the charts from what indicator drop, they are not even showing a positive sign for what indicator drop. So what makes a successful trader? Most people in the academy have been picking coins to trade on their own, and they've been making amazing results more than myself. I have someone in the academy group that said from the subsequent participation in the webinar and coach that she gets in the academy, she was able to make 160% in 1 week. I mean, I don't know how she did it, but it was impressive. I had to do a giveaway to her to encourage her. I mean, I was very impressed that she raised money from 100% from where it was to 160% just by following instruction and attending the webinar. So I want to also believe that we're not going to take this webinar for granted. We're not going to take this sacrifice for granted. You know, being a candle is not easy. Like I said, to be a candle is not easy. For you to be one, for you to be a candle, you have to be a light. Like, I mean, you have to be a light with that candle. So, and in the process of being that candle, to be a light to other people, candle wax are going to burn you. I mean, you're going to be burned by wax. So, and the reason you're not going to give up when those wax burn you is because you know that the light you are holding is a light, is a direction to a whole lot of people that are in darkness. So knowing that that light is a direction to a whole lot of people that are in darkness is going to give you courage to continue doing what you are doing, knowing that you are doing nothing but raising a generation that will independently stand to raise funds and make money for themselves. So we're not going to give up no matter what. Even when you try to push further and it's difficult, to keep going, you will continue doing what you are doing, knowing that you don't seek reward from anybody. So it's not easy, it's quite challenging. I was supposed to have one of us to help us present today. He actually made a promise in one of the topics, but he couldn't meet up, and there was no excuses. There was no reason that he couldn't meet up. It's part of the challenges. To make a sacrifice is not easy. So I would like us not to take this for granted. We should try as much as